Hello everyone, I am Amit Bhuptani, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, Junagadh. I welcome you all on today's topic of discussion on Introduction to Industrial Engineering. So, before we start our presentation on today's topic of discussion, let us have an overview of today's presentation. Mainly we will discuss 4 topics in today's presentation. First one is Introduction to Industrial Engineering. Second topic is Objectives of Industrial Engineering. Third one is Role of Industrial Engineer in the Industry. And fourth, Techniques of Industrial Engineering. So let us start our presentation with the first topic, that is Introduction to Industrial Engineering. So what is industrial engineering? Let us try to understand. It is concerned with the two main words, that is industrial and engineering. So industrial word is mainly related with industry. So what is industry? Industry can be defined as an enterprise or an organization which produces output. Industry is defined as an enterprise or organization which produces output. The output can be in the form of goods or in the form of distribution of services. Distribution of services can be understood, for an example, services like banking services, hospitality services, and education services. Those are called distribution of services. Now, according to the American Institute of Industrial Engineers, it has defined this special field of industrial engineering as the one which is concerned with design, improvement and installation of integrated system of people, materials, equipments and energy. It is an engineering approach which is used for the detailed analysis of the use of resources which are used for the production of goods and services. So, as per this definition, one can understand that it is concerned with the parameters, the factors which are responsible for the production of goods and services. So, as we all know, there is a lot of competition in the market. So, where this industrial engineering plays an important role. To sustain in the market, industries have to use some relevant approaches, some techniques which will be helpful to them to sustain their position in the market by adopting some procedures, some techniques which effectively utilizes all those parameters of productions such as man, machine, materials. This all the resources, how they are utilizing so that they can get the best output with minimum input. So that is what industrial engineering is concerned. It is just concerned with how these resources of production are utilized in the best possible way so that you can get the maximum output at minimum input. It again plays a central role to satisfy the demand of the customers. As we know, day by day, the demand of any product is also increasing because there are many facilities that are available which the customers are already aware. So, in order to sustain their position in the market, the industry must adopt some techniques or some procedures which help them to produce those goods and services in the best possible way. Their quantity should be enough available, their quality should be maintained at low cost and on time. Otherwise, if they do not produce the products at best quality or at low cost, there are enough competitors in the market and the customers will shift over to other producers. So in order, they must produce those products with the best quality as well as at low cost and on time. And engineering means it utilizes some scientific and technologies which will help them to accomplish their main aim to produce those products or goods or services in the best possible way, or changing of design, changing of procedures in a smarter way, so that they can stay in the market. Now, second topic of discussion is what is objectives of industrial engineering. So, as we discussed, the main objective of industrial engineering is to survive in this increasing competition. As you know, competition is very much in the industry. So, how to survive in this competition? They must adopt some relevant industrial engineering techniques which will be helpful to them to produce their product in a best possible way in terms of quality, in terms of cost and on time. Second point, to design and produce goods with as many varieties as possible. You cannot pertain with single product. You must have multi products for yourself. Second, the third point, to increase the productivity by eliminating waste and non-value adding operations. So, what are the goals of industrial engineering? To increase the productivity by eliminating waste and non-value adding operations. So, eliminating those operations which are not helpful, which are time consuming, and by redesigning those operations or equipments which will be helpful to them in increasing the productivity or production. And last point, to improve effective utilization of resources. How those resources, for any industry, the resources which are available to them, that must be effectively utilized. The main resources are man, machine and material and time. So how they are utilizing those parameters of production or the resources for improving their productivity. Next topic, what is the role of industrial engineer in the industry? So what is the role of industrial engineer? He is mainly concerned with how those techniques are being carried out, what are the procedures, what are the equipments that are used by industries for the production of their goods and services, and check whether all the factors of productions are going as per their predefined level or not. Then next is as an advisor or consultant. He always looks after the factors of productions. He always looks after the data that is available. He advises for improvements, or what are the tools that one must adapt so that their productivity can increase. Next is as an analyst. It identifies the system's fault, so it examines at the micro level. So what are the faults that systems are having, that may be in the form of machines which is consuming more amount of time. Micro level examinations, what are the motions, what are the movements that workers are doing, how that can be reduced, so that the production level can be increased. It also acts as an expert. It helps in decision making and provides the best scientific knowledge and skills that is available with him to the workers and the employees. As a trainer, trains the workers in methods and motion studies and applies new technologies. If he has gone through those new technologies, then he will pass on this information to his workers, and that same technologies will be applied. As a motivator, he always tries to motivate the workers, because ultimately for increasing of production or to produce the goods, he must pass on the informations to the workers and try to motivate them so that they always try to give their 100% efforts. Then as a project manager, so he operates, he evaluates, he supervises what are the factors that are responsible for the low output. He supervises it, he evaluates how these procedures are going on. Then next is he is also concerned with the making of work safer and faster and more rewarding to the persons that are producing those goods and services. And it also helps companies producing more product quickly. So mostly he is looking for increasing the productivity of industry. So he is concerned with how the techniques, how the new techniques should be adopted, how the motions that are being done by the workers, how that can be reduced, how the fatigue level to the workers can be reduced, that all the things, that all the parameters and all the things that he is keeping in mind, so that ultimately the production can be increased. How the fatigue level, if the workers are working, then how the fatigue, how the stress level can be decreased by changing the design of equipments or making those equipments or providing those new equipments such that those equipments produces the good by minimum efforts of those workers. They can produce by using their minimum efforts to produce the goods. So that can be done by changing the design or giving some suggestions or eliminating some ideal movements, eliminating some unwanted movements. Okay, so this is all about the role of industrial engineer. Now, techniques of industrial engineering. There are various techniques which we will study later on, which are used by organization to improve their productivity. In that, the first one is method study. Method study is nothing but it is a micro level or critical examination of all the things of the existing method that is being adopted in the industry. How those things are being carried out, how the procedures, what are the procedures that are being carried out by the workers or by the operators to produce those goods and services, and try to make easy procedure or easy methods so that they can produce the goods in a safer and easy way. Second technique is time study. It records the time. By using applications of different techniques, which is ultimately used to establish the time required to complete. So it is used for identifying or establishing the time required to complete a job by a qualified worker. Next is motion economy. Motion economy means one which studies related to the movements of workers. Means there are some certain rules or regulations or principles which has been established such that if you reduce those motions, then you can get the better output at minimum efforts. For example, both the hands should not be idle at the time. Both the hands should start together at time. Those are the principles which motion economy deals with. Next is ergonomics. Ergonomics is nothing but the branch which studies about the workplace at which the workers work. In ergonomics, it is mainly concerned with the place where the workers work. For example, the place at which they work, there must be proper ventilation, there must be proper lighting facilities, there must be proper seating arrangement, there must be all the things which reduces the fatigue of the worker. That is studied in ergonomics. And last is operation research techniques. So in operation research techniques there are many techniques. In that there is an assignment model which deals with the allocation of workers. For example, if there are 5 machines and there are 5 jobs, so how you how you will allocate those machines to the jobs such that your time is reduced or it is optimized. So how you are optimizing those resources such that your production will increase and time will also reduce. So this is all about today's presentation. Thank you.